programmes tonight on BBC One. At 7 o'clock, Tomorrow's World includes a look at the dangers of driving.
Barry, I've commandeered a vehicle.
The old trick, eh? Eat the telly before I get a chance to nick you.
It's a toaster.
Dalek,
You have been defeated. Surrender. You have failed.
Insufficient data.
is this world protected? Because you're not the first lot to have come here. Oh, there have been so many. And what you've got to ask is, what happened to them? Hello. I'm the doctor.
Better go. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. That's my normal professionalism. I hope you're up. You're able. You've girded your loins, and you're able to cope with my dizzy professionalism. It may be slightly less than normal tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, it may be slightly less. I am not well. Yes, I was struck by a summer cold yesterday. Right, I woke up. I was like, ugh. I'll probably shake it off. No, now my son, who has what's called a regular, which is when they get like a week off from the army. He was sick for a couple of days, right? So he kept testing for the Rona, right? Kept testing for the Rona, and he kept coming out there. He was fine, but I was concerned. I was concerned when I woke up and I wasn't well that I indeed had the Rona. Did I have? Was I struck down with the evil, something that totally wasn't a lab leak? Did that happen? I tested myself, right? I tested myself, and no, I've just got a summer cold. But I was strict on myself. I didn't work yesterday. I didn't put any content out. I laid low as much as possible, and I did roughly the same today, right? Roughly the same today. I'm doing a live stream because you go crazy after a bit, right? You live stream so you have sane people to talk to, because let me tell you, in your vicinity, you will not find anyone. No, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. No, indeed. Anyway, yeah. So I am unwell. I am deep in the valley. I'm not deep in the valley. I'm not sick, but like it was like last when I really got sick. Right. This is essentially like, oh man, I am wiped out from it. Let me tell you. A lot going down. There's a lot. A lot we need to talk about. I've realized I packed too much into this show, right? We got to do Star Trek Strange New Worlds, right? Got to wrap up that piece of shit. We got to do it. Pull that Band-Aid and be done. There is all the Trump stuff and all the indictment stuff, which I definitely want to talk about, right? I am into talking about that right now. We got what else? We got Doctor Who magazine that we're going to go over, and there's a whole bunch of Doctor Who news. Nothing that major, right? A whole bunch of Doctor Who rumor and news. We'll pull up the thumb down. Let's have a look. Actually, no. I'll go my open tabs. I want to talk about the Ian Levine massacre. In more ways, one could say, is this the way you massacre a crowdfunding project? Could well be, right? Could well be. We will be talking about that. We're talking about is Doctor Who getting delayed? I don't know. It seems like a real possibility, right? I think Disney is teetering. I think Disney is in real trouble. And I think that Ross Lee Davis may want to back the wrong horse, right? I think that maybe what's going down. He may well have backed the wrong horse. Why is Helen Mirren trending? Hopefully she's still alive. And whenever I see somebody older trending, I'm like, are they dead? And they never are, right? They never are. Although Parky, very, very sad. Although I never liked Parky, I have to tell you. I know everybody loved him. I never liked him as an interview. He always seemed a bit smarmy to me, right? I always preferred Wogan, right? I understand Parky was the more highbrow one. Although I did like Parkinson with Emu, right? That was definitely a good, probably one of his best interviews, right? But what was Parkinson's best interview? Let's look. Let's do a Google search. See what they say. Parkinson's best interview. John Lennon, that's before my time, 71. Les Dawson. Rod Harmonini, 76. I remember that one. Yeah, that was awesome. Not every star fell for Parkinson's charms. That is true. So anyway, yeah, very sad. He has passed on. A bit of a legend in the British TV landscape. Actually, you know what? You know what I'm really digging right now? I'm going to show you what I'm really digging. Right? I told you there was. Hey, let me find this for you 1 second. Scroll. Or maybe I'll just go to artscroll.com. Fine. So okay, the let me show the screen because it's such a window onto like both a huge and a tiny world simultaneously, right? So this is Artscroll. This is a major publisher of Jewish literature, like religious Jewish work, and 100 different things. But their go-to one, like the thing they got famous for was their prayer book, right? But this is their second biggest hit. This is the Talmud. The Talmud is a codification of Jewish law. There's like 74 volumes. And there wasn't an English translation, but it was awful. It was Birnbaum. It was oh, thee, thou. It wasn't written in language that you could really understand, and it just wasn't very good. So then, this is an introduction. So then these things started coming out, and it's interesting. When I was in the when I was in rabbinical seminary is when they first started coming out, and used to go to people for Sabbath meals, right? It was a thing. Like when you're in rabbinical seminary as a student, you'll go for Sabbath meals. So yeah, look how expensive these things are. Like $45 a pop, right? So there's 75 volumes of these, and do they have the? They don't have the interior. They don't show how it's laid out, how it's elucidated. Why not? That's just dumb. That's the whole point of this thing. Anyway. So there's a thing where you learn a page a day of this thing called the Talmud, right? And you finish it in 7 years. So so you see these are $45 each. Actually, I think you can get a travel version, which is the one they have. Books, Talmud, full-size edition. Here, let's see if I can how much the travel versions are, because this is all going to tie in, right? This is probably the Duffy on me size. How much are these a pop? Okay, so $40 a pop, right? They're not cheap, right? They're not cheap. So fine. So with that said, there's this daily class which I wasn't really that into, but everybody really got into it, right? Called this guy. 1 second. Just taking that's latest. Well, I'm not. That's not his. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Fine. This guy, right? And he does like a daily streaming it 7:20 in the morning. Now this thing was called the 8-minute duff, like the 8-minute page. I'm like, yeah, okay. So the point is this dude is giving out those $40 books, right? Which I was like, well, and in exchange you listen to his class. I'm like, well, okay then. That's totally what I'm gonna do. Here, let me see if I can. I'll grab this 1 second. Let me take this off. So then I found out he didn't do the 8-minute version anymore. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, we go to YouTube downloader. And I was like, it's apparently an hour long. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do that. So a couple of days ago, I was working on something. It was the first day. I was like, fine, I'll give a listen to it. Man, I really liked it, right? I really genuinely liked it. This guy was great, right? That hour whizzed by, like, and it's always a good sign. I talked about this in the last stream, right? That hour just whizzed by, and And the guy's kind of fun. Like, he interacts with people. He knows how to do a stream, but he's very Jewy, right? He's very. So this was the intro video I just downloaded. Hang on 1 second. So this is like the big, like the thing that's like casting a big shadow in my.
I'm Eli Stefanski, and I would like to share with you a very personal story. We moved to Eretz Yisrael, and as soon as we got
Eretz Yisrael means the land of Israel, which means, Eretz means land.
to Eretz Yisrael, we had a personal family crisis, which took me out of learning for literally 2 years. There were
Learning is like a daily study.
days upon days which I didn't even open up a sefer.
Sefer's a book. Boy, I might have to translate all this.
On March 13th, 2016, I heard that Daf Yomi is starting Massacre Kiddushin.
Okay. Funnily enough, this is the one I just started with him. This is the set. I'm starting with this one in this site. No, is it Kasuv or Kiddush? I know. So yeah, look, he gives out the thing. He's got his logo on it. Don't know how much he raises for it.
And I said to myself, enough with the excuses. Let's get back into the daf. Let's start it up. Let's go. So after dropping off my children right here in school, I looked over and I see Beis Medrash Pnei Shmuel. And I said,
This was like right where I used to live, but it was a bit, I thought it was like it was a bit too New Yorky. Is a problem.
this is a gewaldige place.
Gewaldig, right? That's the word he keeps using. You're gonna find that crop into my vocabulary. Gewaldig, right? Gewaldig is what it sounds like. It's awesome. Gewaldig, right? And so he threw it fast.
To start Daf Yomi. I walked into the Beis Medrash and I couldn't believe my eyes. 150 Talmidei Chachamim talking and learning a Ritcha D'Oraisa, steiging away.
Okay, you get the feeling. You get the. It's very like, man. There's words there. Steigen. It's but like I tell you, I'm amazed how much I'm enjoying it. Right, I am super amazed how much I'm enjoying it. This you know what? There's a lot to be said for somebody being unabashedly who they are, right? Yeah, and I do quite appreciate that. Speaking of people being unabashedly who they are, that's really, I think, what got Donald Trump into so much trouble. So it's getting crazy with the Trumpster, right? It is getting crazy beyond crazy. Look, the thing is like this. They've destroyed the law. They've set fire to the law to stop it. I mean, that's like America is like a lawless country now. Right, it's really bizarre, right? It's like I like even the highest, I mean, you know, and it all kind of goes back to the 2020 election, right? The thing that they immediately say, stop questioning it. It's perfect, right? It's absolutely perfect. Everything in it is absolutely perfect. If you ask anything, you're a weirdo, right? So it all goes back. So it seems to me, and I look, okay. Do you remember the episode of Red Dwarf Queeg where there's another ship's computer comes on with like a black guy with bald-headed black guy, and Holly is relegated to light duty. So eventually he challenges Queeg to a duel, right? And he asks, Dave Lister and Rimmer and Kat what you think. So they said, yeah, you should go for it, right? And so he goes for a duel and he gets creamed, right? He gets absolutely destroyed. And they're like, but I thought he had a plan. So I'm like that. I'm right there with Trump right now. It looks like he's got a plan, right? It looks to me like he's got a plan. But the thing is like this. There's a lot of interesting psychology going on right now because, like I think most people, Hillary Clinton, people like that knew in the 2016 election that there was no Russian interference, right? That got that elected. I think people knew that, right? I think she knew it. I think she knew that with was it Clarity? So, however, I think she convinced herself that it actually happened, right? I think that's what she came to believe, even though she knew it wasn't true. So I think the same thing is true of the 2020 election, right? It seemed very dodgy to most people. Well, not most. It seemed very dodgy, but everyone screamed down. It's like, oh, you're an idiot. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. No, you must be stupid, right? from everything and everywhere simultaneously, including like Fox News, which is, I think, shows you where Fox News is. So, and it was just really, it was never litigated. It was never, the evidence was never shown, right? If there was any evidence. And since then, there's been a denial, a blanket denial that there was any evidence. Here, look at this. Creep number 1. Let's check this screen. Now, like, again, this is probably why I like Trump. But he can't stand hypocrite backstabbing pieces of shit. Yeah, I think that's a fair way of describing it. Anyway, so this indictment, right, that he's been handed out down in Georgia, is, I think it's because the people who gave the indictment know that they stole the election, and they're screaming not to say it to anyone, not to make them feel like they did, even though, and they convince themselves that it's pure evil to suggest that the 2020 election was stolen, even though they know that they did indeed steal the election. Much the same way as Hillary Clinton. She knows, there was nothing to do with Russian collusion. But yeah, I think a big reason for this war going on, essentially, NATO versus Russia, is payback for that, which never happened, right? So Trump seems to have a plan, right? Though he put this thing out on Truth Social, but yeah, that's why I think they're going after his lawyers and anybody who furthered this, because they seem like they believe it. They seem like they're deranged enough to believe it, that they believe that Trump and everybody knew that they lost the election and they were lying to everyone. I think that's a reality that they want to believe. And I think that's the emotional truth that's really driving this, right? So even though they know that they did steal the election. So anyway, Trump's plan right now is this. It's a large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report. One of the best reports. Oh, it's beautiful. On the presidential election fraud, which took place in Georgia, is almost complete and will be presented by me, the best person to present anything ever, in one of the best presentations at a major news conference at 11 a.m. on Monday next week in Bedminster, New Jersey, I should say. Why don't you do it from Florida, right? That would make sense. I mean, so fine. I mean, like, he seems to believe that that he has the goods, right? Based on the results, is conclusive, all caps, conclusive report. All charges should be dropped against me and others. There will be complete exoneration. They never went after those that rigged the election. They only went after those that fought to find the riggers, in capitals. Now, that bizarrely has got him in trouble in a way that you wouldn't really expect. But so here we see the person, Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, who is only governor of Georgia because Trump campaigned for him, right? So he said the 2020 election in Georgia was not stolen. I don't believe you, right? Okay, all you got to do is let him show us evidence, right? Put up or shut up time, which is, I think, where we are now. For nearly 3 years now, anybody with evidence of fraud has failed to come forward under oath and prove anything in the court of law. I think you're being factual but not truthful, right? I think all the cases that were brought were dismissed on standing and nobody was able to present the evidence. So that's factual, but I don't think it's truthful, right? Elections in Georgia are secure. Well, okay then. Just let him show it. Why are you freaking out that he's going to show this? Right? Like, you don't need to say this. If you're right, he's going to have egg all over his face and look stupid. He looks like he doesn't think that's going to happen for some reason, right? And again, this could be like Holly, who got obliterated by Queeg. Actually, it turned out that Holly was also Queeg, and it was a practical joke on the boys from the Dwarf. But that's another thing. Our elections are secure, accessible, and fair, and will continue to be as long as you're governed. The only reason you have that job is because of Trump, right? The future of the country is at stake in 2024. We must, then that must be our focus. So here, let's look at some video of it, because He looks like he's got a plan. I mean, yeah, look at this.
In the polls. The FBI Twitter files, the DOJ, Facebook, and all of the rest, look at 2,000 mules. Look at what they did with that. Thousands and thousands.
I mean, these are all factual things he's pointing to. These all happen.
Thousands and thousands of votes on tape, on camera. All of this will come up during this trial. All of this will come up.
I mean, that does seem to be the thing, that they have to prove he knew he was lying when he said the election was rigged, right? It seems to be, I don't know.
Because we won the election by a lot. Then they have this crap going on. I never even thought of this one. Trump didn't really believe he won the election. Let me tell you, people that know me say, that's one thing. I tell you, there was never a second of any day that I didn't believe that election was rigged. It was a rigged election. It was a rigged election, and it was a stolen, disgusting election. And this country should be ashamed.
Thing is, he's got a good track record about being right when everybody said he was wrong. Remember that, right? Remember right back when he said his campaign was being surveilled, was being spied on, right? And everyone said, don't be silly. No, that never happened. No, turned out it did. And that happened over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, we do have this track record of that actually happening, right? So, you know, I wouldn't dismiss him so quickly, but he seems like he's got the goods here somehow.
And they go after the people that want to prove that it was rigged and stolen so it never happens. They go after them. They don't go after the people that rigged it, okay? And we'll see how it all turns out. You know, we've been right about a lot of things, right? You ever see Trump was right about everything? Ultimately, let's see how that all works out. So another.
Okay, that's what I say when I know I'm going to win, right? When I hear people crying and I know I'm going to win, right? I know I got a hand. They go, people like, I know that's what I sound like. Let's hear that again.
Okay, and we'll see how it all turns out. You
know,
we've been right about a lot of things, right? You ever see Trump was right about everything? Ultimately, let's see.
I mean, here's where I am though. Like. I believe in God, right? I believe God has a sense of humor, right? And I think it would fit into God's sense of humor to have the Democrats set themselves up to destroy themselves. Or Trump could be about to get completely crushed, right? I mean, like, I think if he puts this thing out and he proves conclusively, as he said, right, that there was electoral fraud, like, for me, you don't need to go further than the Hunter Biden laptop story, right? But if you can prove conclusively there was electoral, and look, let's be clear, there's lots of good reason to think there was. Here, for example, where's this? Fine. Hang on. I've got to share this screen. Right. So, yeah. This is notice here, just a video of a van dropping off hundreds of thousands of ballots at 3 a.m. at Detroit without any GOP monitors. Biden's Michigan votes would spike ahead of Trump in a couple of hours later. Yeah, listen, this might be completely kosher, right? But this happened. You need to explain it, and don't tell me I'm an idiot for thinking nothing happened, right? That it's fake, that it's rigged. You need to explain this to me, right? For me to have confidence. And it's fine. If it's bullshit, it's bullshit. If Trump doesn't have anything, Trump doesn't have anything. He seems to think he's got something. Do you reckon he's going to be, like, how will they stop him speaking? Right? Like, how will they stop him doing that? I don't know, but he seems very, very confident, which means, I don't know. It sounds like things are going to go down, right? I mean, look at this, right? There's a lot of balance. There's a lot of balance there. And you know, they act like there wasn't any testimony. look, he's just one, and there were like hundreds like this. This went on for days and days and days, right? Here, check this out.
He explained to me that an order had come down from the Wisconsin-Illinois chapter of USPS.
Yeah, so this was when, like, and again, they just thought airing this testimony publicly would make a difference. And it didn't. It made no difference whatsoever. It didn't impact on anything. This was, I think, was it Texas who brought a court to the case to the Supreme Court, where it was, I think it was Texas, right? Because they said, listen, we have no access to a free and fair election if you have all these election laws being changed in the middle of the night by people who aren't allowed to change them, right? There's not like the state legislator, right? And I think if Pence had sent those electors back, as he was completely unable to do, right? That is the legal process with you. If he had sent them back to the legislator, Trump would probably be president, and they would have a meltdown beyond meltdown beyond meltdowns, right? So the Supreme Court, I think it was, who was it? Judge, who's on the Supreme Court? Let me just look it up. So there's one, Clarence Torrance, right? Clarence Torrance wanted to see it, and so it wanted to hear the suit and see this evidence, right? He thought the country needed that, right? And I think he's right. The country did need that. So they wanted to see the evidence, and the rest of the Supreme Court were too scared. That, like, say, what happens when it turns out that Trump's right, as we all know he is, and he's actually and actually did win? There's going to be riots beyond riots beyond riots, and I think they were too scared to do anything. Right, I really think that's what went down. Also, I think they were scared for their own safety. Right, I mean, this was I mean, this was after the summer of riots, right? So anyway, so this young chap, he's just like a normal guy saying what he saw.
That 100,000 ballots were missing. He then told me that his post office, the one at Milwaukee Street in Madison, Wisconsin, had dispatched employees to look for the missing ballots around 4 a.m. November 4th. He said, and I quote, around 4 a.m. And that only 7 or 8 ballots were found at United Mailing Services, my work. Based on my previous experience and habit of double-checking for the ballots, I believe that to be a lie immediately. The following day, November 5th, 2020, I had a conversation with a different USPS employee, whose name I also know, in which she admitted that USPS employees were ordered to backdate ballots that were received too late.
I mean, this guy better change his name and run and hide. Okay, I mean, honestly, if Trump's plan doesn't work, it's kind. I kind of think it will, just because the Jewish time of the year. Everybody who was in any way showed any belief in this must be crushed beyond belief, right? Must be crushed and silenced, because they need to crush this truth. Right, because they know it's true. And again, I think that's the emotional engine driving them here.
To be lawfully counted. I asked this employee if I would be getting in trouble for those ballots the night before with my own boss, just kind of making sure that I was covered, because at first I did think perhaps I did miss ballots, but I couldn't have if they weren't on the cart where they're supposed to be.
So basically you're saying there was a bunch of ballots reported missing, which he knew weren't missing?
The employee said, no, I wouldn't, as long as they were postmarked for the 3rd. And then she hesitated for a moment and said that's why they had us do that, referring to USPS employees. I'm not a Trump supporter.
So you just mentioned about backdating ballots. I mean, okay. So not Trump supporter?
I'm not a Biden supporter. I voted for Joe Jordan's in this election, and I voted Libertarian in the Wisconsin governor's race in 2018, which was my first election that I could vote in. But I know that something wrong happened here, and I just want to see that something gets done about it for our state and for the people of our state, so that people can have faith in our elections.
And they don't. And no matter what happens, 2024, I mean, unless Trump absolutely devastatingly proves there was electoral fraud in a way that no one could possibly ever do, which is impossible, right? People deny things in front of their face, right? And unless he can do that, I think no one's going to trust the election, right? But let's wait and say again, we are 30 days away from a fundamental change in reality if we're lucky.
I think the American people and the people of Wisconsin have a right to know what happened. And the bottom line of this is, why was the USPS even looking for ballots on November 4th, hours after the polls closed at 8 p.m.?
Pretty good question, right? Pretty darn good question. However, it's important to hear two sides of the story. Biden has directly responded to this. Check this out.
I think the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Yeah. Did you mean to say that, mate? I don't think you meant to say that. Did you? Really? It's well, listen. That's actually not the worst thing he said recently. That was from a while ago. There was this, strange little encounter the other day. Which you make of it what you will.
Your children. I know some really
kids. Run!
Say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here.
Is he making a joke that he's a pedophile? Kind of sounds like it.
And Daddy owes you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, once you've seen The Sound of Freedom, you know what that sounds like. Bloody hell.
So talk to me afterwards.
But again, I mean, that's reasonably disturbing. But, there is this as well. We have a lot of weird things going on in the world. There is this as well. Where is it? We've got a few to look at. Here, we have this as well.
Pico, I'm 23. I go to UCSB and I also bartend.
My name is Optimus Prime. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron.
Well, yes, that makes sense. Man, that woman is every. I keep saying, literally every. I keep seeing around. There are actually good things as well going on in the world. Sometimes things can work out really, really well. 1 second. No, not that one. Where'd it go? No, not that one. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sometimes journalism isn't that bad.
8.5 tons of heroin, opium, hashish, and other narcotics.
He's high as a kite.
Come on then, let's go.
Okay, seriously.
Burning behind me. Go. Quick. Well, we just need one more. Behind me is 8.5 tons of heroin, opium, hashish, and other narcotics.
That's one of the greatest breakdowns ever seen. That's just fantastic, right? That is fan dabby double dozy. What else we have here? I've got another couple of things. So yeah, on the other end of the scale, we're talking about Biden. His policies haven't been so bad, right? Haven't been so awful. This is how things have turned out in Portland. Yeah. And then, when people say, "Why do we live like that?" You voted for that. This is what voting for Biden means, right? This is what this is it, right? This is I don't know, mate. And yet still, you will get tens of millions of people voting. Oh yeah, one last thing before we get to the chat. So yeah, Trump called them riggers. You got to watch out for the riggers. Check this out. Okay. This is how bonkers people are, right? This is CNN having a meltdown, as always.
Boykin, a Democratic political commentator and former White House aide to Bill Clinton, he took issue with that term. Take a listen.
Oh, and he wants to find the riggers, his word, not mine, who stole the election from him. Rigger, please.
Boykin went on to say Trump's...
really? Come on. Dude, you have got to be looking for racism to call that race. Really? That's pathetic beyond pathetic, right?
Choice of words is not an accident after spending days making racist attacks against Fani Willis, the black woman.
Oh, wait. What was the racist attack? No, listen, if he made racist attack, believe me, we would be hearing about them. What was the first racist attack? Like that he attacked somebody who was black? Is that a racist attack? No. Again, you just say these things and expect them to be real.
Leading the prosecution against him in Atlanta. Alyssa, what do you make of the racial accusation Keith Boykin was making there, that the use of the word rigger is not...
Oh, it's absolutely racism. Yes, Chuck. Oh, no. What's this one? I don't remember. All these lies kind of blend into one for me.
Unintentional. Mr. Trump, President Trump, has certainly been accused of racist language before.
Right. With Trump, you don't need to look for a dog whistle. It's a bullhorn when it comes to race. And I do think that's deliberate. We've seen the...
Really? It's now words that rhyme with racial epitaphs. That you people are crazy. You people are, and that you don't see that you're crazy. You people are out your fucking minds, mate. I'm sorry.
Slanderous attacks that he's put out against Fani Willis, alleged.
Okay, this woman has indicted Trump with glee, obviously intending to indict him before the grand jury finished because they released the indictment before the grand jury finished because they couldn't give a shit, right? She's indicting him for seeking legal counsel to legally remedy an election he believed was stolen from him, right? The only way I think you can be triggered so badly is if you know their election was stolen from him and you don't want to hear that truth. You're running from that reality. You don't want to be wrong and you don't want to be right, right? Here's the thing. You all know he's right, which is why you're freaking out, right? You all know he's right.
Things I won't even repeat. So he's not really hiding.
You won't repeat them because nothing happened, right? Nothing. And what's he not hiding?
That he's going to lean into that element, and this is taking place just outside of Atlanta. When you saw the courtroom, it was a lot of black men and women who were serving in that courtroom.
You people are sick, right? And honestly, the most racist people in the world nowadays have to be Democrats, right? They feel so proud of themselves for doing a Black Little Mermaid. Oh, I'm so good to you, black. The way liberal women, especially the awfuls, the affluent white liberal females, right? The way they talk about black people. Here, check this out. This is one of the most racist things I've ever seen. Where is it? Yeah. I called the clip racist liberal. Really, that one I should have been able to pick out quicker.
In a racist white neighborhood, and I noticed how if I see a pickup truck with an American flag, it's basically like the Confederate flag. Like every time I see an American...
Do you notice she has a brown person with them as a prop to show how she's not racist?
Flag, I cringe because the American flag...
Really? Do you notice people cringing around you a lot, darling? Man.
Flag is like the new Confederate flag.
It's like right? She just found this person to be brown in the video with her.
It's safe to say if you see a pickup truck...
are you trying to tell me that little brown girl isn't there on purpose?
The American flag, that person is a racist.
No, this person is a racist, the one we're looking at. And again, this little brown girl next to you, she knows you're a racist.
Okay, and if you have an American flag in front of your house...
And you notice how she's not in the frame at all, just like Just like there as a prop. This is liberals, right?
You're probably a racist. You're probably a racist.
You're definitely a racist, right? You know. And look, bottom line, the issue is this. There's a couple of issues. Firstly, the amount of disdain and hatred that Washington has, like the consultant class has for like normal people, is off the charts. Fear and hatred of the masses behind Democrats' war on liberal democracy. 100%. They hate poor people, right? They hate anybody who's not rich people. They hate them. They hate them with an intensity and a bile. And that's why when they see polls like this, they come after Trump full force. Look at this. Now, this is a national poll. Independents. This is the important one. This is the one you need to win. Trump's 8 points ahead on independents. That means he wins the presidency, right? Biden doesn't have a chance, right? Biden does not have a chance. And they know he doesn't have a chance, which is why they're doing this. I just think, I've said this right from the 2020 election, this is all going to blow up in their face. I thought it was going to blow up in their face on January 6th, right? And I was wrong. Maybe today, maybe this Monday, right? When he does this thing, it'll blow up in their face. Because they're certainly terrified that something could happen, right? They are certainly absolutely terrified. And to underscore that we have this. You know, this is where the mood of the people is right now. 70% think he committed serious crimes. That's really low, right? 71% says he did not, right? Probably not. And 12% don't know. So that's the New York Times, Siena, July 23rd to 27th. Man, can you imagine what it is now? Right? Can you imagine what it is now? Boy. Anyway, that is what I think is it's emotional, right? It's emotional sheer terror. It's a sheer, it's this hatred of regular working class people, regular working people, not working class, regular working people, a disdain and hatred for them, and a hatred that they may not be the best people in the world, right? They may be the bad guys, right? That's what's going down. Anyway, let's get to the chat. Oh, Millie, so good to see you. Could you save Disney? I don't know. Jiggle around in that outfit. Could happen, darling. Could happen. Anyway, who we got here? Lonnie is here. How you doing, Lonnie? Thanks for joining us. Matthew Barrows is here. Getting worse. Yasmin Finney is in Series 19. Not confirmed at all. Wouldn't be surprised, right? I wouldn't be at all surprised. But like, it's equally confirmed that Doctor Who is going to be delayed, right? Doctor Who delayed is Disney sinking and taking Doctor Who with it. There can't be a delay. I've got a job a lot of these new sonnets coming in to flog for Christmas. That was actually Rusty Davis's brief. And yeah, Shooting Up was going to be getting his own Sonic as well, right? Man, this is getting a little bit, milky, right? Cash cow. Star Trek Sexual, we've got to do that. Oh, John Constantine, tongue kissing the devil in the toilet. Like, why? Like, why? Like, can you like? I've been listening to a couple of Big Finish actually. One was good, Once in Future, and I'm still trudging through the Tom Baker one, and they're on like this sci-fi Starliner thing, and the captain. He mentioned the captain's like partner who got killed, and the captain's a woman, and obviously the partner's a woman. I don't think there's been a straight romance in any way, shape, or form on Big Finish for about 8 years, right? I do not think there's been any straightness there for about 8 years, and it's freaking ridiculous, darling. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, listen, I wouldn't be surprised with Yasmin Finney in season 14. Have to wait and see, right? Again, wouldn't it be great if things really are about to fall apart, right? Wouldn't that be incredible? Actually, I was thinking that the other day. Like, let's say, there is some kind of global apocalypse. I'll be like, yeah, bring it on. I'm fine. We're all going down. Fine. Lonnie asks, Rabbi, if I were to accidentally give you catfish jalapeno hush puppies, well, that sounds pretty good. Drizzled in butter and honey on a bed of bacon without telling you. Well, I'll know it was bacon. It was not kosher. I already know it's not kosher. How much penance must I pay? I don't know. Look, that's between you and God, mate. But I don't know. But no, that doesn't work because I know it's kosher. You'd have to like starve me, right? Put me in a room where I don't have any food, and that's the only thing you give me to eat. Then I'm forced to. Okay. Penance, I don't know, but it sounds like a pretty good thing to go down for. She cried. Jigger. What are we up to? Matthew. Is Russell trying to make people homophobic? That's basically what's going on, right? That is, I mean, like, just stupidity. I just started this, says R.I.P. Michael Park said, yes, R.I.P. Parky. I dealt with a doctor the last 5 years, so now I might as well not. I mean, and honestly, it's so disappointing. I had so much hope for this, but like, I don't know how much of this is real, how much of it is like the internet craze. Although he's putting as many trannies as he can in as many places. I don't know, and he doesn't seem to like be able to sniff the cultural currents are not going in that direction. People are here. This is an average man in the street talking about gender theory, right? This is what normal people think.
Think there are
two
genders.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not a social construct.
I was just saying to my friend here, men dress up as women to hit on men. Women dress up as men to hit on women. What's that all about? Failed athletes, okay, want to take over because they can't make it in the men's world, right, and they want to steal it from the female gender, and that's kind of sickening.
So it's not fair that they're dominating their female opponents?
Not at all, no. I totally disagree with it.
Do you think they should have their own section for the transgender?
But you're very unwell, yes.
Yeah.
They're very unwell. Yeah, cannot argue with him, old son. Cannot argue with him at all. But yeah, that's what normal people think, Russell. And we're a little bit sick of it, mate. And I honestly, it's such a stupid reason to torpedo this whole production, right? I want you, Russell. I really wish you would just go and walk around and look at all the people who are going to be losing their jobs, like. It's happening in Disney, right? Disney's going down, mate. People are done with this, right? You got to understand. Look, live and let live. Dress however you want. Who was it? Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Like, okay, this is the perfect take on gender theory that I don't think anybody. Yep, are we back again?
What were your opinions on the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, I don't think it's one community.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, how could it be? You just mash together an alphabet soup. Trans is fundamentally in tension with gay, if you ask me. But what's your opinion?
I can't. Again, we're trumping on. If Trump gets on house arrest or wherever he's going to be, I hope he's not going to be in jail, right? And Vivek going like on CNN and saying. Personally, do I believe that the 2020 election was stolen? I think the Hunter Biden laptop suppression was the massive electoral interference. That's the only thing I know about because I'm data driven. But he has an absolute right to believe it. If he believes it, he believes it. Let's hear why.
I'm personally pansexual, so I was just wondering what your
does that just mean no one's fucking you, darling? Is that what pansexual is?
Views on same-sex couples were.
I don't have a negative view of same-sex couples, but I do have a negative view of a tyranny of the minority. So I think that in the name of protecting against a tyranny of the majority, and there are times in this country's history where we have had a tyranny of the majority, we have now, in the name of protecting against tyranny of the majority, created a new tyranny of the minority. And I think that that's wrong. I don't think that somebody who's religious should be forced to officiate a wedding that they disagree with. I don't think somebody who is a woman who's worked really hard for her achievements should be forced.
Look, that's basically the point he made, and he's just politicking right now. But go Vivek, mate, go Vivek. I don't think we have a question of professionalism, says Colin Archer. Well, professional whatever. Now you're talking. The Solder Engine, how you doing, Solder Engine? Thank you for joining us. One second. I just missed something. Hang on. Jordan Lee, how you doing? Did you hear they removed Elizabeth Olsen from the upcoming MCU project? Couldn't care less. Like, genuinely couldn't. Oh boy, so not interested. MCU just needs to be slashed down. Okay, this is the type of guy I am. If you know, the Messiah comes, or the oh, there we go. I will hire myself out to movie studios. What's it? Let me check what okay, it's true. Out to movie studios to fix their properties, right? MCU slash and burn, right? It's a slash and burn situation. It's cancel everything and restart. I would say I would maybe I don't know start with a Fantastic Four movie, but I would set it in the 60s, right? And then somehow tie it into X-Men. Would you do X-Men present day? I don't know. Maybe do X-Men in the 80s. Right, and then maybe so then you could actually see. No, how about this? Then you actually get an idea of social progression, right? And you have that be your phase one. But yeah, slash and burn MCU. That's just what that's just what you need to do. Snow White, so stunning and brave for playing a role she hates and scared of. Oh, Keith. Well, she came out saying, "Oh, yeah, people have been attacking me for my views to take me out of context." No, we haven't. And boy, and that thing, it was just like relentlessly me. Let me see if I can find that clip. 1 second. What's the bloody name again? I'll just do Snow White. Snow White. Oh, and it really wasn't me. Oh, here it is. Rachel Ziegler. Oh. To be this annoying, and you're not, right? You are generally not hot enough to be that annoying. Come on, let's download. Where's this thing go? Man, what's up with my internet? It's like it should be working fine. Try again. Hang on, we'll try Twitter video downloader. I'll tell you. Fine, we'll just go forward until that opens up. COVID rates are increasing this fall winter. Stay safe. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Still sick, but I'm back. I've come back. Fine. Let me catch up with the chat. Oh, man. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to have to get... Oh, man, how far back can I go? I've lost all the chat. Really? You kidding me? Actually, I can do it for 1 second. Go onto the YouTube page. I'll get it. There we go. Fine. Let's see how far back go there. Fine. So I can't go back early in Philip Boga. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I'm terribly sorry. That's so annoying, right? It's so freaking annoying. See, here's the thing. I got fiber optics, and you get like 2 routers with that. You get like one router that it comes into, but it doesn't. It's not very powerful. So you need an extender. It's the extender that's the problem, right? The extender keeps screwing up. So I do apologize. Anyway, Philip Boga's here. How you doing? You know very little about shooting. Here's what I know about shooting. He's in freaking everything. He's in David Copperfield now. He's everywhere. I don't know if he's any bloody good, right? I hope he is. I know they are going hard onto shooting, right? They're shooting hard onto shooting, right? No, I have no idea. It is personal. I don't care what shooting is. I'm just a little bit bored with him, like relentlessly wearing weird shit all the time, right? It's just like enough already, right? Genuinely enough. There we go. 1 second. So Matthew Brown said, Paul Tosland said hello to you. Where are we up to? Dr. Alex is here. How you doing, Dr. Alex? Greetings. Here you're fighting off sick. No, I'm not. I'm sick. I'm like, I'm still under the weather. Under the weather, old boy. What can I tell you? But, I will persevere with the old Dunkirk spirit. That's me for you. We shall overcome. Indeed we shall. Indeed we shall. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde here. Well, shooting has compared himself to poetry and poetry war. Nothing like that. You see, this is all true, right? This is all absolutely true. 1 second. Is that Paul's? I can't tell. Yeah. Now I've lost the chat. Show chat. Everything is hard. Nothing is easy, she cried. Everything is hard, except the things that you would like to be. Where are we up to? Fine. Conantia says they had to change the meaning of fairies to most just because no one would think Rachel Zegler is the most attractive Gal Gadot. Well, that's it. Although Gal Gadot doesn't do it for me. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Doesn't do it for me at all. I mean, she seems nice. I'd have her for dinner, she cried. But doesn't turn me on. I'm not joking. She's an Israeli 7. She's not so hot, right? I'm genuinely. There are, like, the waitress at the restaurant, like, our local, like, family falafel place was way hot. Here, let's see Rachel Zegler. Or maybe not, because she's such a bore. She's so self-obsessed. Look, like, compared to Gal Gadot, again, she just, I think what makes her attractive is she has this really good character, right? She's this, which does kind of come through, right? Yeah, 1 second. Whereas Rachel Zegler, God. So yeah, so she was talking about how awful Snow White was. The original story was how like she was stalked by a guy, that Prince Charming. Stupidity.
Taken out of context, and I know that at this point I can't really stop people from
No, it was taken completely in context, right? I saw the whole thing.
doing that because that's what my whole existence on the internet is. It's just
Wah! You're 22, you entitled little cunt. Will you shut up?
being taken out of context and stuff, which is fine. That's what I
You weren't taken out of context. You said what you said and meant it.
signed up for, isn't it? But I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have.
Well, that's how you came off.
When I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life, like
Oh, no. All 22 years of it.
understanding the way my life operates now, being who I
My life, me.
am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think.
Well, okay, because you've been brought up in your 22 years of life, which is like 22 minutes, darling, to believe that if you're brown, you don't have the fair advantages. It's not true. And so you're a brown person who found out you did okay, even though you're brown. You know why? because it doesn't matter that you're brown, right? It doesn't matter that you're Latino. You're probably one of the crazy people who said that Trump said that all Mexicans were rapists and murderers. No, God. I mean, here's the thing. If you're somebody who pays attention, there's no way you can believe any of this stuff, but you're not. So what can I tell you? Most people are stupid, darling, just like you.
I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all.
Well, you are, and you're not doing it gracefully, you're doing it poorly.
So, when I tell you that it's hard...
Oh, how much money did you get paid for that, darling?
I just mean to be inside my brain. That's hard.
Oh, no, it's hard to be inside. I understand that, because you're batshit fucking crazy. Yeah, let's look at her net worth. Let's find out how fucking hard it is. Rachel Ziegler, 22 years old. Net worth. Let's see what that is. Their net worth is $3 million. Not bad for a 22-year-old, darling. Not bad. You're doing okay. Oh, it's hard to be in my head.
And I'm there 24/7. I can't.
Yes, we're all in our heads
24/7. You dumb cunt. I tell you that it's hard. I just mean to be inside my brain. That's hard. And I don't know if that will make sense, but that's where I'm at.
It makes sense. You're an entitled, spoiled 22-year-old brat with too much money.
I'm so grateful for the things that I'm able to do. And a lot of what I'm able to do is because of you guys. And
No, everything you're able to do is because of your audience.
So unbelievably thankful for that. At the end of the day.
You're not thankful at all.
I look at this trip and think, if somewhere like that can exist, and so can my tiny pink bedroom from New Jersey, I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats. And maybe that's a weird...
No one's... Okay, if anyone's sending death threat, don't worry about it. They're crazy. Right? No one's sending you death threats. They're saying you're an entitled, annoying cunt, because you are.
Takeaway for this video.
Wait. Do you think me saying you're an entitled, annoying cunt is a death threat? It's not. I want you to live and be well, darling, but I wanted you to live and be well without being an entitled, annoying cunt.
This is a life. This is real. It's filled with a lot of beautiful moments and beautiful people. I have a loving family, an incredible boyfriend that I love so much, beautiful friends and family, people that I miss. It's a privilege to miss people the way that...
No, I mean, like, there's so much narcissism, so much of a tiny little girl.
I do, but it's hard. And it's lonely. It's
lonely and hard.
Very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay. Maybe that's a...
We don't care about you being okay! For fuck's sake! Oh, it's not about you. What the hell?
Weird takeaway. Regardless, this is not supposed to be anything other than...
Oh, God, she's done. Just stop, darling. Stop. Man. Oh, God. That was nauseating, right? That was genuinely nauseating. Fine. Now, okay, so the interwebs went out. Damn it, I'm sure I said hello to you. Who else we got here? John the White is here. How you doing, White? If they what redid the effects or what? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be another Disney disaster, isn't it? No, just jump. Just as I can't say. They're only doing this live action remake so they don't lose the rights. I guess so, but like, God, they're excruciating, right? I mean, now they're gonna do a cartoon remake of the live action remake of Lion King. I mean, like, really. It's no way going to be Latino or Chinese. I think Latino. Looks like Latino to me. I'm not entirely sure. Could you show us an Israeli 10? Yeah, honestly, there's been 3 waitresses that I've had since being in Israel for the last, 15, 20 years, where I just can't stop staring at them, right? They were just like mesmerizing. They were like the most gorgeous people I've ever seen. It was crazy, right? It was genuinely crazy. Israeli 10s are hot. Okay, Israeli 10s are very, very hot. Where are we up to it? Mark Milford is here. Rabbi, why is it these woke actors get huge parts of millions of dollars in a film or a TV show and me to go into victim mode? None say I'm blessed. I know. Apart from the ones who are blessed, like, was it the guy from Sound of Freedom? He's always been like, I'm so blessed. I mean, like, honestly, look, I can't. It's we live in such a weird world where the Christians now, which used to be when I'm growing up, were the most insufferable people in the world, right? They're like insufferable do-gooders. Now they are the like the sanest, most grounded, most together people, right? In this weird, whacked out world that we live in. That's a change that's happened in my lifetime, right? It's man, like honestly, if you're going to be like trapped in an elevator or something in the 80s, you'll be like, oh God, please don't be a Christian. Please don't be a Christian. You know, they're going to be like agonizing to be with. But now you're like, oh God, please be Christian because you're normal. It's the weirdest thing, right? There's so many things that are weird. I can set a black area if it was in the Caribbean. Oh, now I can go back to over here. So I'm caught up. Fine. Let me catch up. Well, now I'm over here. But yeah, it's what does it say? Are we talking about? I think that's some new news we have coming up. Snow White and the Seven Cybermen. Well, they're all men, right? Okay, BBC are re-releasing Rusty Davies Era 1 again on Blu-ray. Apparently, it'll look better than ever. I've already bought them. Like, piss off, right? But yeah, let's move into. There are several news points that we need to talk about. Where are we going to start with? Doink. That one. We could go right to there. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, let's start with this. Which I find quite interesting. It's where we go. So Ian Levine, not a fan of Trump, by the way, as I saw when I went to his Twitter, right? He was like, oh, he's been indicted again. So he's doing a new version, a reconstruction of the massacre. Now, the massacre is an excellent story. If you haven't heard the soundtrack, it's fantastic. It's really, really, really good. Perhaps one of the best episodes. And let's have a quick look at that last season. 1 second. Doctor Who episode guide. Over here. Let's look at season 3. Doink. And you always think of season 3 as like ending with Hartnell. No, he had the first 2 Troughton episodes as well. So Galaxy 4, I mean, like, I quite like the animation they did of it, but even so, it was like not one of the greatest. It's this weird, like, delivery. We will do with Varga. Yes, Varga. Mission Unknown was kind of a cool cutaway. Mythmakers, it was like Mythmakers. I've only ever heard the audio, and it didn't really stick with me. Dalek Master Plan is great as like great comic booky type Dalek Adventures. This is as close to like the TV 21 Adventures that ever came out. So the Massacre is a really clever, emotional little story. Actually, season 3's got a lot of good stuff going on there. Right? It's a great historical that which has real, like, I don't know, real stakes in it, right? I like this story a lot. Then you got Ark. The Ark is also good. It's not as good as a Massacre. Celestial Toymaker. Really interesting season, right? This is like when they released season 3. Galaxy 4, they got to do, man, there's a lot they got to do to get season 3 going. Season 4 should be quite easy. They got Power of the Daleks, Highlanders. That's the only one they don't have. Right? Anyway, fine. So let's go back to the story over here. So Ian Levine, he's doing a new version of the Massacre, right? A recreation. I hate to tell you, this still doesn't, make me go, ooh, I got to see this. Right, this still is like I'm gonna give this one a miss. So interesting update in Levine's missing episode animation project. He's budgeted $20,000 for the massacre and accepting a minimum of $100 donations, no less. If you don't donate, you won't see it. You don't see it. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts and emotions on this project? I think emotions is like, who cares, mate? Right? Who cares? Yeah, this is the source from it. It says, you can send me a private message. The massacre is costing us $20,000. So unfortunately, any donations of anything less than £100 are not worth making. I don't know. What, you say you can't find 1,000 people to donate $20? Yeah, that just seems weird to me, right? You should be able to get 1,000. You should be able to get 1,000 people to pay $20. I'm sorry. That should be doable. And if not, why not? I mean, honestly, like, you should be able to get 1,000 people to, like, that seems easier than what was it, 20,000 divided into 100 is two. You're trying to find 200 people to pay $100. I don't know. I think you'll be better the other way around. But okay, it doesn't look that good, right? It gets the 20,000 donations. Says he's already in production, so I think he. And then the donations as a cover is completely wrong. So then it says, not that I know personally about his financial situation, but he certainly implied. He used to have one. None of us, mate. None of us do, mate. And his other vanity projects wiped him out. Yeah. And also I have to tell, look, the official one was way better. I understand it was less accurate. It was way better, right? I wonder what budget for these things. I mean, like, 20 grand seems kind of light, to be honest with you. 5 grand an episode, but like, I think you should be able to do it with AI pretty soon, right? So he said, yes, unfortunately, this is absolutely true, but it does stop me from trying, and from hoping people who think like who think like will kindly chip in. At least I do something, unlike my enemies who criticize me so much. Well, that is true, but I don't know. Like, yeah, this is the doctor in it, and so this doesn't look like something I'll spend $100 on. I'll be frank. I'll put $20 into it to help with the project, right, and be a part of it, and get like a digital download of it. But 100 seems crazy to me, mate. Right? It does. It seems a bit strange. So then he followed up with this today, which again I find weird. Right? I find all this weird, and saying our private animation of the massacre is our property. It looks like evil trolls are going to force me to giving mute copies to my friends and investors, and then we'll have to sync up with the soundtrack. That sounds awful, right? This is there is no possible breach of copyright here. So he's got to do that so he doesn't get a copyright trouble. Just leave him alone to do it. I mean, like, if it's any good, then I don't know, BBC will buy off you maybe. How Richard Bignell, who works in the official stuff, I think, how are people forcing you to do anything? There's no other route you can take with this. Yeah, like, just don't turn a blind eye to it. It's a fan project. It's a non-profit fan project apparently. So okay, fine. So here, let's look at the next thing. Character Options has some new Doctor Who toys coming out. This one I find the strangest of them all, right? And it took me a while to work out what the hell it's from. Richard Hundell, First Doctor, and Revelation of the Daleks. But here, let's look at the video they put out, because it's like way more interesting than all of this in this video.
Hi there. Welcome to another Character Options reveal for the B&M product for 20.
Okay. Do you see the Dalek dropship in the background? That's what I want. Man, that's probably going to be a fortune. So, let's see what he has to show us. So yeah, we got these are the Necrosian white Daleks. First time we saw white Daleks.
Interesting and different grey Dalek, and we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. Then moving on, we have History of the Daleks set number 14, which is based on the story Revelation of the Daleks. It's actually one of my favourite Colin Baker's stories. It's got a horrible air of gloom over the entire thing. It's brilliant. Basically, the Doctor and Perry arrive on the planet Necros at basically...
Is it him? Did he talk about the other stuff yet? So yeah, let's wait till he whips them out. But here, I want him to talk about the Colin Baker set, because this is Bizarroville. What's this one? Hang on. This is the same. We're still
so this set has 2 of the Revelation Daleks. These are actually pretty unique and new, and there's a couple of little differences. So we'll go through those again in a little bit more detail. But that is the Revelation of the Daleks, a History of the Daleks set number 14.
So
and then the final product for this release for B&M is the 6th Doctor and TARDIS set. This is really cool. It's very interesting.
It's a weird choice.
There's been various iterations of the 6th Doctor figure that we've released over the years, but this particular costume, which is inspired by the stage play, I think is very different. So rather than retread old ground, which we don't like to do.
I mean, I understand what you're doing, but like, it's just a weird choice. Like, why didn't you have like a little Zog thing there? But you should have done an extra figure with it. But like, again, look at the Dalek dropship in the background. That's the only thing I'm interested in. Man, that's probably going to be a fortune here. Let's look at this.
This Dalek had some really interesting features. It had basically completely new dome lights. I don't know what they were inspired by, but they looked amazing and very different. So this prop looks...
I tell you, I'm a massive Doctor Who nerd. I've never noticed, and I don't really care.
But the prop looked very different, and this iteration of the Dalek...
I don't get me wrong. I know there are fans out there who really care about these differences. It just doesn't impact me at all.
Consequently, also looks different. The other thing that happened around the same time is that the Daleks started to get what we casually refer to as a neck lift. The whole cage bin that sits around the Dalek actually didn't
Character Option makes these toys
sit down flush with the shoulders anymore, so it got lifted. So what we've done is we've added a little component in there to basically
show us it.
They give that visual effect of the neck bin being lifted up, which just gives it it makes it slightly taller, gives it a little bit more.
Right, I remember them doing that. Okay, fine.
More presence. It makes it
boring me to tears. Let's talk about the Richard Hundell figure.
And as I say, the deco. Interestingly, the waistband mesh, the solar slats, for want of a better
Honestly, this has made me want to cut my wrist. I'm bored to tears, man.
phrase.
Oh my, still going. There we go. Richard Hundell, first Doctor.
And then moving on to the first Doctor. Well, what to say? So, brief history of this one. In this story, he was played by Richard Hurndall. The costume was close, but not exact to the look of the William Hartnell Doctor.
Is this the first time they released this Doctor? I think it is.
He had the fingerless gloves, which gave it a very iconic look. But we had a head sculpt for this kicking around for a long time. And long story short, that head sculpt, unfortunately, got destroyed. So as not to lose that, because I always intended it to go in this set, we had that digitally redone. So the new head sculpt, I think, is actually probably better than the original, and it really looks like the character. So I think this is a cool figure. I've seen some.
I mean, it is. I mean, I don't want to poo-poo it, but we're talking about.
I love these Daleks. There was something really interesting about them. They were a perfect.
They were just painted white, right? Cream. It was the first time we saw it.
Already in the BBC, some Daleks were made using a completely different method to make the shoulders out of fiberglass, and that resulted in the middle section being significantly different. So
again, I thought these were just the old props they repainted.
So what we did is we've got you'll notice that the whole front section of these Daleks is as close as I can get it currently to those sort of fiberglass more.
That's weird. Just give me a second. There's a thing going weird in my living in my TV. I'm going to let
non-traditional Daleks. So they had a much more prominent oval. They had a much thicker waistband, which we've tried to emulate on here. They had this neck lift going on yet again, which is like a spacer that just lifted the whole neck up and made them very different. The eye stalks on these are new and again quite different, quite unique to this story. They were a sort of bold mix between again classic and where we kind of got to with Remembrance.
Okay.
So
Hey,
there's a few things going on, and the dome lights changed shape slightly from the traditional Genesis sort of mini tail light style, and they had this black band around them. They were finished in an...
Hey kids, I just wanted you to know, be clear about this. Never, ever, 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 ever let a lady hear you talk like this, okay? Never, ever, never do that, okay? Never, ever do that. Okay, he likes it. But again, look at the Dalek dropship. Oh my God, that's freaking insane. But this is
You've
weird.
got the Sixth Doctor figure and the TARDIS, and I'm going to start with the Sixth Doctor figure because this figure is brilliant.
I mean, I guess you're running out of like different things the Sixth Doctor could do. Although, I mean, like, you should do them from the novels. Like, there was a few novels where he was wearing a dark business suit, a black suit with with like a colorful tie. I can't remember. It's probably in the one I'm doing right now. Put him in a Valiard costume. Oh my God, that would be cool.
It's obviously physically exactly the same as the previous releases that we've done, but the deco and the look of this costume is fantastic. And for me, in some ways, I think it's stronger in terms of its...
I don't know. I think it was kind of sad because he'd been pretty much fired at this time, wasn't it? It was around that time. And the TARDIS, okay. They should have, like, I don't know, done more Ultimate Adventure stuff with it. Or maybe give it away with a Big Finish CD. Yeah, 1 second. I mean, look, I know when I say people will buy it, right? I mean, like, people are, but okay. PD Richards, so fucking what? Yes! Right? Yes. They have no imagination. They have a weird imagination. Like, I don't, like, why? Why would anybody want to remember this? It's like, I don't know. Let me find a Big Finish. Bigfinish.com. Now, this was actually a pretty good release, the Ultimate Adventure. Right, 636. This is so worth it. It's a lot of fun. Right, it is a lot of fun. So yeah, this is an audio adaptation of it. I might give this a listen. It just was enjoyable. Right, this is definitely an enjoyable. It's just weird. It's just weird. But okay, but they should have included this or a digital download of this, right? Oh, 636. They could have made a deal. But okay. It was recorded in 2008. I'm trying to remember if I had the my digital subscription then. I can't remember. I can't remember. It's just weird, okay? This is weird, but and it's like kind of clutching at straws. I mean, okay. Do you want to do some of the bad looking heads? Can we zoom in on this? Like, do you want to do some of the weird Cybermen as well? But here, did they picture Zog, the little alien companion thing that was with them? But okay, this is something that, you know, should be. I can't believe there's an Ultimate Adventure costume page, right? There's a page for freaking everything. That's just insane, mate. That is just completely cray insane. Fine, let's look at. There's a few stories we want to look at. Starting over here. We got where is this? So we got they announced 4 new actors. So the reason I normally ignore this stuff, right? But I think this is in Doctor Who magazine. One of the people, no, I don't want anything, right? One of the people who they've announced is we'll look at it when Doctor Who is Gemma Arrowsmith, who wrote the worst Doctor Who story ever made, right? Who was literally the worst Big Finish Doctor Who ever made. It's terrible. Gemma Arrowsmith, right? It's beyond me, right? It is beyond me how she got a job writing, because these are absolutely awful. So here's another room we have going around, and we've got more rooms to look at in a minute. Doctor Who showrunner hints Yasmin Finney will return for season 14. I mean, look, here's the thing. I think not encouraging. I think social engineering the idea that gender is fluid is deeply damaging for society and for people, and destroys people, right? I think and I think it's being done for the narcissistic needs of mentally ill people, right? Or mentally ill adults. And I think children are being used as pawns to make them feel good about their life choices, which I think will ultimately lead them to misery. It won't lead them to happiness, right? It will lead them to misery and loneliness. And yeah, I don't wish that on anyone. And yeah, that's my opinion on what alternative sexual lifestyles will provide for you, right? I don't know if I'm correct about that. I'm not imposing my opinion on anyone. However, I find it really disturbing that people like Yasmin Finney are being used to indoctrinate children, to teach them something that is damaging to them and simply not true. Look, I have to tell you, my outlook is very extreme. My outlook is extreme, very extreme, in that I think we as a generation, my generation, was so bullshit that sex outside of marriage or sex outside of a committed relationship, which I think we're talking about basically marriage, right? Is gonna make you happy, because it's not, right? And I understand nobody's met anybody who's lived that way. I mean, maybe my kids, because they're religious, right? They were brought up religious, but like maybe Amish people, but nobody's met a normal person live that way. But like now I'm like in my 50s, I look back at life, I go, yeah, honestly, it's you think it's gonna, you think you're going to watch the first episode of It's for like that very sexually, right? You don't, right? It's fleeting, it's meaningless. You don't give a shit, right? You basically, we do with sex and meaning. Anyway, so I think that was damaging for society on many levels. I think it's made the overall happiness of society way down. But I think this is really damaging for society, right? I mean, it's I think, having children believe that their discomfort that puberty brings is going to be alleviated by surgery that will sterilize you. I think that's terrible, right? Terrible thing. He's genuinely a good person. I think he's caught up in this insanity. I'm praying for a miracle to shake this insanity from the world. I really am. On a genuine level, and I hope we will see that miracle delivered. But without it, I don't know what's going on. That should be in season 14. I can see that. Again, it's not. Why wouldn't she be in it? I mean, she's already in the Six Advertisement, and it seems like a reasonable place to introduce a character who, if you have an agenda of wanting to normalize transgenderism, right? Which is like, that isn't normal. I hate to be the one to tell you, it's not bloody normal, mate. Whatever. So Doctor Who showrunner has seemingly implied that the 60th anniversary special guest star Yasmin Finney will also feature in season 14. The casting was big news last year following Finney's star-making turn as Ellie Artwright and Netflix LGBTQ+ coming out drama Hearts of Well, how would it be anything other than LGBTQ? It's a chick with a dick. Right? I mean, like, that's got to be LGBTQ+, because whatever. Details are scarce about Finney's Rose and what role she'll play in the narrative, but fans have speculated and begged, got on their knees, and begged Rusty Davis to make her a recurring character. Writing in Doctor Who magazine 594, which is on sale from today, it said, "I can stand at the back of the studio. Millie catches my eye. We wave across distance, but I don't step in. They're busy. Clock ticking around me. People are drawing in." Okay. The crew, office staff, actors have. It's been a week of goodbyes. Yasmin Finney wrapped a few days ago. Big hugs. See you soon. But it all comes down to this: the last scene. So what? I thought this is season 4. That seems to be confirmed. She's in season 14, isn't it? His comment noted that she wrapped a few days ago. Has been noted by fans who were aware of the 6th anniversary ended some time ago, with the subsequent film and focus on more on season 14. Yeah, it does sound like that, doesn't it? It does. It does very much sound like that. Fine. So I don't know. What can I tell you? I've given up trying to be excited about this new era, mate. I've given up, right? I've completely given up. It might surprise me and be good, right? It might look. Star Trek Picard surprised me and be good. Star Trek Strange New Worlds season 1 surprised me and was good, but it's going to be a bit of a surprise, mate. Right? It's going to be a bit of a surprise if it is. And let's look at this story as well. So I have the Blu-rays of season 1 to 4, right? So what are they doing with them now? The first 4 seasons of Doctor Who are going to be remastered for the 6th anniversary. The Blu-ray set, I don't think I can go much longer. My nose is streaming, ladies and gentlemen. Is set to be released on the 13th of November. Will include the entirety of the 9th and 10th Doctor eras, newly upscaled to HD. I already have that, so what's different? This includes every episode from the first to the last 4 specials, as well as bonus features, including a featurette, a look back in time and space, featuring David Tennant, Rusty Davis. Not enough to get me to buy it. To mark the announcement, BBC have released a new trailer for the first 5 years. Well, maybe we'll watch that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. 1 second. Let me just grab that trailer. Maybe they'll tell us. It's not long as well. Maybe they'll tell us, if there's anything new in it. Oh, man. I am not doing well. There we go. 1 second. We'll do YouTube downloader online. We'll go over here. And doink. Download. Did it download? Yeah, there we go. Right, so let's have a look at this trailer. Doink. Video file. Don't be wrong. I mean, listen, if I don't own them on Blu-ray, this is probably a good time to buy it. Depends how much it's going to be.
19 years of my life, nothing happened. Nothing at all. Not ever. And then I met a man called the Doctor.
Rob!
You're an alien.
Yeah.
A man who could change his face.
New teeth. That's weird.
And he took me away from home in his magical machine.
I forgot about that. Because that comes right out the Pescatons. Their audio written by, who was it? I can't remember.
And he took me away from home in his magical machine.
Time and relative dimension in space.
It's bigger on the inside.
Is it? I noticed.
And you go with him, that wonderful Doctor. Go and see the stars.
So where are we going?
Further than we've ever gone before.
Oh, what was that one? Hang on. I don't remember that effect shot. Oh, that's the unit helicarrier. When was that attacked by Dalek? Oh, must be was it Doomsday, you think? That looks like a new effect shot to me.
Further than we've ever gone before.
Get me to the church! Is it always this dangerous?
Ajax! Here come the grunts!
I mean, if they're remastering, why are they doing it on 4K? Stop Stolen Earth. Thank you very much.
If she ever remembers me, her mind will burn and she will die. Run for your life!
I mean, it was a pretty good 4 years. I mean, let's be fair.
Sometimes I think there's something missing. Like I had something lovely. And it's gone.
Come with me.
Oh man, that was the Fires of Pompeii. Oh my, yeah, fantastic scene in a fantastic episode. And no more details about it. Like, we'll do. Where is it? Go to, where is this? Radio Times. Fine. So the starring the 3 seasons, Blu-ray set 18 discs, because in the 60 episodes, new episodes will air. Oh, I'll be able to watch on Disney Plus. Piss off, right? If it's going to be, listen, if they're remastering it there, it's going to be on Disney Plus. So Disney Plus are cutting back on traditional media. So I will buy this if you don't have it. Okay, but it doesn't really tell me anything about this. So let's go to Blu-ray.com, see if it says anything. Oh. Hang on, see if there's any news about it over here. Doctor Who. No, the next thing they got is the Underwater Menace. See, this is the one I have. Right, the complete 10, which was a really good deal. How much is it? Like $25, right? I mean, sorry, mate. This is a really good deal. This is all the specials and basically the complete tenant. And here, let's look at the review. If you want to know reviews about Blu-rays, blue-ray.com is the place to go. So they say the video quality, they give it 3.5 out of 5. Audio quality, 4 out of 5. Don't really care. Extras, 5 out of 5. Yeah, the extras are freaking excellent. It's everything. It's confidential. So yeah, look, it's a good set. How many discs is it? This should tell me how many discs it is. 14. Okay, 5 for $25. That's a great deal. 17. Get out of here. You should buy that. If you don't have it, 17. That's really good news. That's really good value. But anyway, they're re-releasing it for some reason. I mean, like, I don't know what's going to be with it new. Here, let's something new that did come out, which is good, is Doctor Who What's the Future. I listened to so What's the Future is the good series going on at Big Finish. It's like it used to be with Big Finish. Every month you could be guaranteed a good, interesting Doctor Who release, right? When it was the main range, not so much anymore. So one of my complaints with Big Finish is because they've hired completely talentless writers often because they're women or they're black, mainly because they're women, right? That's it. Mainly because they're women. That's the overriding reason. And we've had absolutely terrible releases from it. So now when I see it's a female author, I shy away. I go, oh no! So I saw this on Lisa McMullen, and I was like, oh god, it's gonna be crap. It's gonna be one of these new diversity hires. And I'm not being fair to her, But that I blame Big Finish for that, for putting out shit beyond shit beyond shit. Right? Let's see what she's put out. See, there's nothing here that's made me go, ooh. Like Winker's like, Charlotte Part, yeah, nothing here has made me go, yeah, this is awesome, right? They all look like filler, right? That's what it, yeah. So, but this is actually a genuinely very good release, a very good story. So the basic plot of Once and Future, it's a 5 Doctors thing, right? And it is the most anniversary thing I've ever heard, much more so than Light at the End, which I thought was excellent. Because this is the first time where they've used the format, their monthly release format, to have something very expansive, right? It's not like the 5 Doctors, which is 90 minutes, or Light at the End, which again, excellent. And Light at the End, absolutely excellent. The 50th anniversary story. This is, and the only thing I didn't like about Light at the End was the title. So this is basically the War Doctor is hit with some kind of weapon, and he's regenerating through his different phases, right? And so each episode, you have a different Doctor. You have a few. Normally starts off at one, and then he regenerates into another, and regenerates into another. This week it's Colin Baker, and I assume in the TARDIS control room now he's just got a bunch. He's got a clothes line hanging, not a clothes line, like a one of those things they have in department stores where you hang up lots of things. Then you got everybody's different outfit on, so he can quickly change. And so yeah, each week basically you have like just a month. You have a bunch of Doctor Who favorite elements thrown together, and you have to see how well they come out. This is the second best one in Once and Future. Let me open up. We'll go through them. They open up with Tom Baker, Sadie Miller playing Sarah Jane, and the meddling monk, and the new unit group, and Tom Baker, and it was not great. It was a quick kind of throwaway one. It wasn't bad. It was reasonably enjoyable. It wasn't bad. Worse was the second one with Peter Davison. Also had Colin Baker in as the curator, who the curator now we find out can flits between faces, much like the Doctor has been now he's struck with this weapon. And Jenny, the Doctor's daughter, and they're basically looking for art. It's an art heist thing. And this one's way too cutesy for its own good. But what this does well is it's an amalgam of stuff you love in Doctor Who, right? The third one was freaking awesome, right? Oh my God. A Genius War. That one really, really worked. This was the first one where it was a good story in of its own right. In that the seventh Doctor, the Doctor degenerates into his seventh persona, puts his hat on instantly, obviously, and he's taken out of time by shadowy Gallifreyan military. This is the middle of the Time War, because Davros says he wants to defect from the Daleks and destroy them. Sir McCoy is perfect in this. He is perfect being an espionage story in the Time War. Just works so well. Bounces off Terry Malloy, Ken Bones, and what's her name? Beth Chalmers and Vet Klin, which are all characters they built up. It's sort of set on the Trial of Time War spaceship. Yeah, which is that gives you an idea. It's a frothy mix. So that one. So this one isn't as good, but this one is better than the other two. Right? This is the second best release. Starts off as a third Doctor before regenerating into his sixth form. And this is River Song in it, but not mentioned by name, right? So Jackie Tyler, Camille Kadori is always a delight. She's something that basically always sells it to me, not with Doomsday, right? But she is absolutely a delight. She is a wonderful character that you never saw before in Doctor Who, and is so great in Doctor Who. Jackie Tyler, I think, is one of the greatest things that Russell T Davies did for Doctor Who, right? I just love that character. So she ends up applying for a job as a cleaner for Lady Christina, who, again, I think is a great companion. The idea for the companion, which they did as a season of Lost Stories, but they weren't very good. Beth Chalmers again played her, and she was miscast, I think. Was that it was a a socialite son, socialite daughter of somebody like very, very wealthy, who was actually a safecracker as well. And the backstory was the wealthy person was really a criminal, crime lord, and her daughter and his daughter wanted also follow in the footsteps. The way they were going to introduce her was that you would have, much like the way they introduced Lady Christina, was when she was going to like cat burgle a stately home and like break into a safe, and inside would be Smith McCoy. So what kept you so long, right? So that all sounded delightful. But again, so you have Lady Christina and Jackie Tyler bouncing off each other together fantastically, right? It's again, why do we love the Five Doctors? Because you got K9 and you got Jamie and you got Rasta Warrior Robot and the Cybermen and the Master. You have all stuff you love in Doctor Who. Same thing here, right? And this is the thing that puts them together nicely. So I'll say they were given a list of ingredients. So I'll say the Jackie Tyler, Lady Christina stuff is the most tacked on. But essentially, Colin Baker's Doctor needs a couple of companions to help getting through the missions of the story. The main thrust of it is that you got Harry Sullivan, an older Harry Sullivan, and he's working for a doctor. And here's the thing: the problem with this thing is you have so many different doctors in it, not always played by the original actors. So I heard this doctor voice like, "Who's that? Who's that?" And it's somebody impersonating Doctor. I'm not going to spoil who it is. They call it the Renegade in the cast list. It's a villain that we know from Big Finish and only Big Finish, but in a way that you haven't seen this villain before. And this villain is great. This villain is one of the absolute triumphs of Big Finish. So Harry Sullivan is working with this villain who's pretending to be the Doctor to get to this like temporal energy thing they need for some nefarious plan. But this temporal energy thing also can cause degeneration. And again, it all comes together in a 60-minute frothy mess of absolute fun stuff, right? And you do end up like visiting 1963 and the William Hartnell's TARDIS, not with him in it, but it's an anniversary special, right? It's an anniversary special, and everything worked. And okay, Colin Baker's Doctor with Jackie Tyler and Lady Christina, very, very, very good, right? It really works very, very well. So this one is a recommend. Let's look at the blurb here. So I'll get the trailer as well, because one second, stop screen. When you talk through the trailer, I'll tell you if it was good or not, right? I'll tell you if the trailer represents it. Here, let me grab that. Doink. Oh man, I am sick. It's not good to have a cold if you're a podcaster, right? These are things that don't go well together. Doink. Oh, I got to do one more story at least. That's important. Everyone say it's downloading. And doink. I'll pull open that screen again. Yeah, and we'll read the blurb here. Let's pull up the video. Doink.
The place is booby-trapped. Excellent. I love it.
Honestly, I mean, other than being in a rather shit TV story, Michelle Ryan is great, right? She is, especially at the time, she is the right level of sexiness, and yet without, so she's good eye candy with it, but it's a good story, a good character with it that she's able to carry off, I would say, very well. I've enjoyed the Lady Christina box sets.
A challenge. Oh, there's the TARDIS! But how can it be here? My Rose is out there somewhere in that big blue box of yours.
Oh, so that's a plot thread I didn't talk about. I think they do it very well. That she talks about, because this is the Jackie Tyler is from a future, is from the Doctor's future, because I'm like, oh wait a minute, Doctor's the 11th Doctor. Now the 10th Doctor. Now the 10th Doctor is the Doctor in the next episodes, which is, so he's a future Doctor. And I think they're probably going to say something because they were with Jackie Tyler. That's how that's how she became the that's how he became the face. So they'll have some MacGuffin like that.
So how can it be in two places at once?
Terrifying. Wonderful. Dangerous. I suppose I was lucky to come back.
I have to tell you, Christopher Naylor's Harry Sullivan, pretty darn good, right? Pretty darn good. I don't notice him not being in Martner. It's not like, you know, a perfect impersonation, but it's good enough to make me believe I'm listening to the character.
Not everybody does.
I mean, it's rather a coincidence that I happen to meet the two of you, precisely the people I need here with me now.
Yeah, so I assume we're going to see River Song at some point in this series, setting up these characters to all meet.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
Yeah, Nick, mate, you've got to stop using that. It's awful, right? That's absolutely awful. No, nobody likes hearing that. Let's hear what what it says. So he's flitting there, stabbing in TARDIS. Back on Earth, the Doctor finds a clue in the search of the origin of his degeneration weapon. In his sixth body, he meets Jackie Tyler and Lady Christina D'Souza, and they come up with quite a good throwaway explanation why they don't remember him in the future. Thrown together by fate, or something more. Or something more in the pursuit of an item of jewelry. So this is somewhat similar to the Peter Davison one, but I would say much better, right? It's just much more enjoyable. Meanwhile, a Time Lord renegade has duped Harry Sullivan into helping him stop the Doctor's travels before they begin, and all are on a collision course. Yeah, listen, man, I can't believe that this cast is so small, right? Tim Turrell's in it for like a minute or two as the third Doctor. Michael Maloney as the renegade, and I'm not going to spoil who is, excellent, really excellent. Yes, the whole cast is good. So yeah, this one's a recommend. This one is a recommend. I'll tell you what's not a recommend. You know, that I still haven't finished listening to it yet. Right? Is this one? Oh God. Where is it? Yeah, I'm on Angels and Demons. So I'm still listening to Stone Cold. I'm about 2 episodes in, and I still haven't seen the Weeping Angels yet. Well, nobody sees them. It's like wading through mud, right? It is like wading through mud. Fine, let's look at this other story. Where is it? Doink. Where are we up to? It's is that no, it's not it. We'll save that for another time. That's another story. Fine. So I don't know. This one is probably bollocks, right? Although it might not be, right? It really might not be, right? Because Disney their stock prices tanking. They are just doing bad. They are on a real death spiral right now. And there are consequences for that, right? They've laid off like hundreds of workers. They want this strike to go on a long time because they're saving a ton of money, not producing the shit that they produce that nobody wants anyway. So season 15 is potentially delayed, possibly season 14 too. As originally reported by @set_DW, filming for season 15 was due to commence in October, but to my understanding, that has been pushed back. More below. Okay. My source says that it's not the actors-writers strike directly delaying the other shows, but could speculation, not a leak, be problems happening behind the scenes with many American actors and possibly producers of behind-the-scenes crew. Not sure who being halted by strikes. Therefore, halting the show. Season 14 was due to be released around March, April, with season 15 potentially delayed. Season 14 could be moved, to my understanding, to one a more consistent track each year, Maybe yeah, put him over in like the fall, right? Rather than summer. Look, you get more eyes on it then. And that's why they always kept Jodie in. They only put Jodie on when it was raining out, right? On a solid Sunday slot, right? So that was always work for them. Been told this will change. Been told this is topic will change very quickly. Already said the delays aren't definitely due to strikes, but they're definitely not directly linked to the strikes, like no other show, like Stranger Things, but due to Doctor Who attempting to expand globally to American and worldwide audiences, these strikes that could have an effect. That being said, the 6th anniversary is safe. No delays there. Also, to be clear again, not 100%. You keep saying the same thing, right? Keeps going on. And Disney Who Leaks is his name. And I only got confirmation the other week that was actually happening. So the unit delay should have been a red flag. Well, yeah, it's weird that we haven't heard anything about any spin-offs, right? Continue to support the strikes, however. Our writers and actors deserve better. They do deserve it better, but they don't deserve our support, right? I mean, that both things are true, right? They do deserve better. They do not deserve our support, and I'm sorry you don't. I'll update with further news. It's just good that he gets started doing it. So the guy he gave us a source chimed in and said, Doctor Who filming location. Lots of potential leaks and delay talk flying around at the minute. I won't be commenting on any of it as I'm not a leaker. My information comes firsthand. If I discovered anything concrete in relation to Series 15 filming delay, I will report it. Enjoy the break. Fine. Unit delay says Thunderbolt Dash. Unit delay, if it even existed, that's a crash and burn like class. It could be. Like nothing of it. Nothing really sounds that great. I'm telling you, nothing really sounds that great. So for me, I'm happy for it to be delayed. Right? I really genuinely am. Right? I really couldn't care less. I didn't know cocaine was kosher, says M. I don't know. I'm not sure if it is. I don't think you need to worry about it. Rabbi, take a dose of vitamin C every 2 hours, mate. Man, I'm going down fast, and not in a good way. Fine. So look, here's the plan. Tomorrow morning, I believe, if I'm up to it, 9 o'clock UK time, we will be. I'll do a stream, and I'll take it offline. Here, 1 second. I'll take it offline, and then we will. It will be done as a premiere later that day. On that stream, we will be doing. Let's go over what we're going to be looking at. The new Doctor Who magazine, right? We'll do a full review of the new Doctor Who magazine. And the 12th Doctor Masterpiece revealed. I have no idea what that's going to be. So we'll be reviewing that. We will certainly be doing Star Trek. We have to catch up on that. What else is going on? We'll see what other bollocks is going down. Yes, I am fading fast, so ladies and gentlemen, I need to go and rest up. That's basically my plan. So I'm going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a very good time. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm going to say good night. Good luck, and may your God go with you.